gifts that matter. Check out our 50% off deals on great items like adult Adidas fleece, NCAA Coliseum Performance Quarter Zip or hoodies, treadmills or ellipticals by Fuel, or select Stiga table tennis tables, or other great deals like the North Face Chimborazo and Morning Glory fleece, just $69.98, and take $25 off boots, $99.99 or more, or give them a gift card. Deals available Thanksgiving Day in most stores at 5 p.m. and all day at Dix.com. Sale ends Black Friday at 2 p.m. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
Do you know your credit score? Have you checked it lately? Do you even know where to find it? Well, Discover Card is changing all that. Because Discover is the only credit card that gives you your FICO credit score for free on your statement and online. It doesn't get much easier than that. And knowing your credit score is important. It can have a real impact when you're looking for a car, renting an apartment, or even buying a home. It's just another way we treat you like you'd treat you. Discover Card. Free FICO credit score online and on your statement. To get yours, go to discover.com or call 1-800-DISCOVER. Limitations apply.
Excellent Italian food is found at Spaghetti Eddie's, a neighborhood restaurant with a great family atmosphere and delicious Italian cuisine. Define Spaghetti Eddie's. New York-style pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, soups, salads will bring you back again and again. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Greenbrier and Western Branch. Quality Italian food is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us on this very wet Thanksgiving Eve. Gotta love those words. Thanksgiving tomorrow, family, friends, and of course, being thankful 24/7. This is Sports Scene on the radio each Wednesday from noon to 1 on News Talk 1650. Also go to tunein.com, type in WHKT, saying hello to all the travelers right there on 64 and 95 today. This is your home for CBS News. Tell your friends about 1650 WHKT on Facebook. Find me on Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnlineMall.com. Thank you to our fan forum last week right here in the studio, Ron and Hank. Thank you to our military overseas and right here in our country. Great guest lineup highlighted by Jay Walker from ESPN will join us in just a few moments. Shop on GJBTV.com. It's Black Friday 24/7 on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Before you go out in the rain, go to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com and browse, shop, and visit. Save time on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Phone line presented by Spaghetti Eddie's in Chesapeake with 2 locations. Sponsors for me on the radio station in the month of November. Hard to believe it's December on Monday. India Palace, Little Bear, Spaghetti Eddie's, Crazy Good Donuts and Ice Cream, Inouye, and Ipanmano. Of course, GJBTV.com, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com, highlights on GJBTV.com as well. And of course, for archive shows, go to GJBTV.com. Simply hit the YouTube link. We are live on TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT in the search box to listen right now on your phone or your computer. Tell your friends about News Talk 1650 and Sports Scene every Wednesday from 12 to 1. We'll be doing some testimonials today from Soprano, El Gran Maya, Bravo, Balkan, and Einsteins. Stay tuned for more of Sports Scene live on the radio next. The place people look for their holiday light needs are Inouye Holiday Lights. Let the professionals at Inouye decorate the exterior of your home and business without you lifting a hand. Get $100 off a $1,000 purchase. Call 355-5276 and log on to NRA.com. Light up your home or business this holiday season with NRA. Call 355-5276 today. The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Rack City chick, 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 10, 20s and the 50s chick, rack city chick.
All right, back live right here on the radio on this Thanksgiving Eve. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson. You're home for CBS News, your 10,000-watt news talk powerhouse here in Virginia Beach right here. You're home for CBS News and the Admirals. Well, this gentleman I've known for several years, happened to be a stage manager at several different places around the state of Virginia, talking about a legislator, also works for ESPN, former Howard and Long Beach State football player, played in the NFL. Let's welcome Jay Walker, member of the House of Delegates from District 26 and an ESPN commentator. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, Greg? How you doing?
Good. How are you on this Thanksgiving Eve, first of all?
Man, the weather's crazy up here. I don't know how it is in the Patel area, but it was snowing today. Now you got sleet, so hopefully being out there on the road.
Yeah, very rainy down here as well. Well, Jay, talk about your background. First of all, you're from the West Coast, and of course, you attended two different schools.
Yeah, well, started off as a baseball player. A lot of people don't know that at a high school. And when I was in high school, I wanted to go to the University of Washington my whole life, and they told me I had to play linebacker, and so I kind of was upset, and to get back, I signed with Washington State and really didn't want to go to Washington State, so I went and took a pro baseball contract and played in the minor leagues for a year. And when I came, I was missing football so much, and George Allen, a lot of people in this area know, not the former senator, but George Allen, who was a former coach of the Washington Redskins, who was in California and knew my family, and said, hey, why don't you come play for me at Long Beach State? And I went there, and unfortunately Coach Allen died. And when they died, it became kind of a free-for-all recruiting-wise. We had a lot of good players on that team. Mike McCoy, who's the current coach of the San Diego Chargers, was on that team. Terrell Davis was on that team. And this was a program that hadn't had a winning season in like 20 years. So good job recruiting. And then when the football program dropped, Howard came calling. I wasn't going to go to Howard. I was going to Louisville. And my mom made me take a trip to Howard University, and it was love at first sight, and it was probably the best decision I ever made. Talking to Jay Walker from ESPN. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live right here on the radio. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Listen anywhere in the world on your phone or your computer. And there's a little bit of a myth there about George Allen, the former Redskins and Rams great coach. And, of course, I miss the Rams. I wish they were still in L.A. It's just not the same in St. Louis as they were in L.A. There's no comparison, back when Lawrence McCutcheon was there and James Harris and so forth. But let me ask you this, too. There was a lot of things going on when he won a game, I believe it was, one of his last few years coaching at Long Beach, and they threw like a big ice bucket. You remember would they do that after the games, and he got like pneumonia afterwards. He wasn't quite the same. Is that true, Jay? That's a real sensitive subject to us 49er folks that are on that team. As you get older, I'll put it this way, it was never told to the team that way. It was never expressed that way. His wife came out and addressed us and told us it was not something that the team did to him. It was a big day. Keep in mind, we won that game versus UNLV, and it was 65 degrees outside. So we're not talking like it was 40 degrees outside. Right. So, I like to say that was not it, but that's kind of what some people said over the years that's gone off, but I don't think that's ever been verified or told. Yep. More sound dramatic, but I don't think that was the case. Well, let me ask you, switching gears before we talk about college football, he was a legendary coach, absolutely, one of the best coached, Sonny Jurgensen, and of course Billy Kilmer. Jay, before we start talking about college football, you're right there in the hub of Washington, D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia. It seems like the Redskins have more drama than the Kardashians. Now they're going to bench RG3, against the Colts, and it's not going to be pretty here the next 5 weeks, regardless who the quarterback is. No, it's not. It's kind of, I'd say this. I thought RG3 was going to make it, so let me go on the record saying I still think he can make it. I think his intelligence will keep him in the league, but you have to have a coach that's willing to grow with him. And after that first year, he won doing what he had done in college pretty much. And in the NFL, it's all about that second year. Normally you see like guys like Cam Newton. He went through the sophomore slump, and then year 3 he almost was MVP of the league. It's that second year where your learning curve has to really take off and you take your lumps. He didn't have that luxury. He was injured, and then that's when he's supposed to be learning and see how defense are going to attack him. And the team kind of made some choices to try and put him out there sacrificially, I believe, and it's coming back to haunt them. And I think they're in trouble for a couple of years because they gave up so much to get them. I mean, you build your team with first and second round picks, and they have not had a first round pick, and now that for a couple of years they don't have a second round pick. So it's going to be tough to see what they do down here with this football team.
What are your, since it's Thanksgiving Eve here, your great memories of the Vikings and the Patriots when you played in the NFL?
Oh, man. Well, we won a lot, which is unfortunate for me. When you're a backup quarterback, you don't get to play because the only teams that are going to the playoffs don't have issues at quarterback. But I always say, I was around some great coaches. When I was with the Patriots, Bill Parcells was my head coach. We had Al Groh on the staff, Romeo Crennel, Ray Perkins was my quarterback coach. Charlie Weiss was on that staff. And then I went to Minnesota, and it was the same thing. We had Dennis Green. And then you had Mike Tyson, that was a tight ends coach, ended up becoming a head coach. You had Ray Sherman, our quarterback coach. Brian Billett was the offensive coordinator. Foge Fazio. So we had some names there. So I was around. I was exposed to some of the highest coaching you can get on that level. There's 2 different ways to win football games. Playing for Bill Parcells, military style, going to get the best out of you. You're going to force you to be in top shape. And then, it can wear on you. And then you had Dennis Green, who was like playing for your uncle. You want to do well around your uncle. He's not going to discipline you as hard because he's going to help try and grow you as a man. So it was 2 unique personalities.
Talking to Jay Walker right here from ESPN, Greg Bicouvaris live on the radio, News Talk 1650. Lock it in on your radio dial. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT right here about 12:17. And, of course, before we talk about the big playoffs in the 2014 Division I Football Championship Series, Alabama, Oregon, Florida State, Mississippi State. And I always compare it to basketball. It's going to be impossible to compare this top 4 here, Jay, this playoffs to basketball or the NFL playoffs, which gets it right, or the NBA or the NHL. But this is a work in progress, and no matter who the 4 are going to be, it's going to be controversial.
Yeah, it's flawed. I think it's clearly flawed. When they announced it was only 4 teams, I right away said, this is going to be a mistake. How can you have what you're calling the 5 power conferences, but yet one of those champions from that conference is not going to have an opportunity to play for a national championship? How do you get to prove who's got the best conference out there? So I think it's flawed. I always thought that no matter what, the SEC was going to get 2 teams in, and everybody else is going to be fighting for the other 2 spots. And right now, if it ended today, that would be the case. So I think it's flawed. I don't like the fact that, college football and college basketball, it's all about Cinderella. Like when Boise State beat Alabama, or when they beat Oklahoma, how good was that Boise State team? Could they have been the national champion? Well, you've got a team now, and I don't care what their schedule is, but you've got a team in Marshall that hasn't lost a football game.
Sure.
If they go undefeated, don't they have a chance to prove that somebody can beat them? And it shouldn't be, one game. So I think we're losing that Cinderella aspect by not having an 18 playoff. I think it should be, the 5 power conference champions, and then you take the 3, you make 2 more at-large, and then you make another one for the Cinderella-type story to see if they can do it. So it's frustrating, but they give credit where it's due. They did say they want to make the regular season count, and I think that's been clear. Regular season games now do count because of this ranking system that they have, but I just think they need to expand it. If you miss the number 9 or 10 team in the country, nobody's really saying anything. But when you talk about a team that could be in the top 5, not having an opportunity to play for a national championship, there's a flaw there. Yeah,
because it seems like the Bowls, all these years, are becoming almost borderline, just, programming or irrelevant or just a sponsorship tool. But now at least it adds some excitement, like you said. But you brought up a great point. Look at Butler in basketball. They were a Cinderella, and Marshall could have been the same team, and Marshall destroyed Old Dominion down here.
Yeah, and that's what I think, and that's what everybody loves Cinderella. Everybody loves Cinderella. When Utah won and they beat Alabama, that was a great story, but and that's what college sports is about, but we're literally eliminating the chance for Cinderella.
All right, let's talk about the playoff bracket here. Of course, it all starts the former 1AA playoffs. I think they get it. Now, how come they can get it right, Jay? 24 teams, and, should that be looked at for the future for the big boys, or just there's too much revenue, too much TV, too much advertising for 1A football for this ever to happen to get 24, let alone 8 teams?
The 24 is too much, I think, for what they're trying to do. And FCS has expanded to 24. When I played, it was 16, then it went to 20, and now they're 24, 3 years later. So I think, 24 would be too much. 8 is realistic, but keep in mind, they start playing right now. So if you were to do a field this big, then, the rivalry games that you talked about earlier with Alabama and Auburn and games like that, those would have to go away. So I don't think that'll happen. But I think 8 teams is realistic. You've got bye rounds that are going to take place this week, and you've only got so many games being played. And then next week is what they call really like the first round, because that's when all the automatic qualifiers have already played. So it gets interesting, and it's exciting. I'll tell you, if you've never been to an FCS playoff game, it is exciting. I tell everybody, every first down is magnified. Every turnover can end your season. The crowds there are good, and you're playing in elements, so there's a home field advantage just like you get in the NFL. So I'm really a big fan of it, and I would say participating in the FCS playoffs was one of my highlights. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jay will tell us about the game he's working in just a moment. I'll be at the Richmond-Morgan State game. And one thing about all these games, folks, they're going to be all live on ESPN3.com. You can watch it anywhere on any of your devices right there. And that's changed the society we live in, Jay. You and I grew up with busy signals. Now there's all everything is transparent now, my friend. Access to everything. Yeah. All right, let's talk about, first of all, Richmond, Morgan State. People down here, Hampton had a rough year. Norfolk State, another subpar year. Hampton did get a big win, in a game you and I worked a few weeks ago. But Morgan State's been down for several years, but I'm glad to see them back in Baltimore, back in the thick of things. And I think that game against Richmond will be very interesting at 1 o'clock on Saturday. I think you're being kind saying they've been down for several years. Yes. I told them that they've been in hibernation for 3 decades. Wow. And that's what bears do. Bears hibernate. And, slowly but sure, I think they owe credit to their former coach, Don Hill-Ely, who was there for years. He wasn't there to see him make it to the playoffs, but he brought expectations to the table. Morgan, for years, was a 2-9 club, and then he started getting them 6-5, 5-6, 7-4, to where they started having expectations. And they let him go and brought in a new coach, Lee Hull, who came from University of Maryland. And, they're so often the next guy's going to get a better shot than the previous coach had. And he's taking advantage of it. He's brought a pistol offense. They've got a running back by the name of Herb Walker, who's one of the best in FCS football. He's had 2 games this year where he's rushed for over 200 yards. He's a special talent. He can run the ball. And the pistol, unless you're used to it and seeing a legitimate pistol offense, which you don't see that often in college, they're going to put some points on the board on you. So Richmond is going to have to kind of control the clock and try and keep Morgan off the field, because they're getting pretty good, and they're starting to believe in that system. They had some quality wins towards the end of the year. And that's not a big road trip either, from Baltimore to Richmond. And, of course, that'll be on 1 o'clock on ESPN3.com. When you think about the MEAC over the years, traditionally you think of Bethune-Cookman or South Carolina State, Florida A&M in the past, maybe Hampton in past years. But, Morgan State's definitely new, and I think that'll be a great game. Let's talk about the game you're going to be at. And also, don't forget, because we're down there, the job that Connell Maynard did at Hampton. Oh, yeah. I think, that game you saw on TV when they upset Bethune, I was on the conference call with the committee, and that loss knocked Bethune-Cookman out of the postseason. Oh, yeah. So, and that was huge. Nobody saw it coming, and I say this, and I'm a Howard guy, so, Hampton's our rival. Right. But Connell Maynard has them going in the right direction. You can see it there. Once he gets some players to fit his piece of the puzzle, oh, man, they're going to be back to the glory days of Pirate football, and I think it'll get here more sooner than later. Yeah, you did a little practice routine with them on one of our features. That was really, really good. I think, like you said, they're bright years, and Norfolk State's always been solid. They've always played a tough schedule. They played some good teams over the years, too. But let's talk about the game you're going to be at. Montana and San Diego, so it's kind of a unique thing. San Diego barely got in. They're out of the Pioneer League. They get an automatic qualifier. They actually had to complete a Hail Mary pass at the end of the regular season game to get the bid. So that was a big story. So they're riding the high. A lot of people didn't expect them to be here. And in Montana, they've kind of had to go through the transition where for years they were the powerhouse program that you heard about out there in that part of the country that could beat 1A schools or FBS schools. Well, now they've kind of given that away to Eastern Washington, and they're in the same conference, but their coach is retiring this year, Coach Delaney, so they're going to try and play well. You know, they like to throw the football a little bit, and it's going to be a good matchup there. And obviously, anytime you're playing in Montana, the elements come into play. So the California boys, it's going to be a whole new world for them when they take on Montana up in the mountains in Missoula.
Final few moments with Jay Walker from ESPN. Just a reminder, it's lunchtime at Soprano Italian Restaurant at 12588 Warwick Boulevard. Phone number is 930-2350. Go by and see Moody Pizza, Pasta, and Subs at Soprano Italian Restaurant. And then you talk about the entire bracket. Should be a lot of fun, but I love this one and done. When you lose, the loser goes home, but the winner keeps rolling on. And, of course, the top seeds, of course, in no specific order, of course, New Hampshire, North Dakota State, then you go down the list, Jacksonville State as well, and then to Eastern Washington, Illinois State, Villanova, Coastal Carolina, and all the good teams like Chattanooga. So really there's no easy draw no matter who you're going to play.
No, I mean, the big story is, who's going to beat North Dakota State. Until somebody beats them, they're a three-time FCS champion, so until somebody beats them, you have to think they're favorite. They lost their first football game during the regular season in 3 years this year, so I think that's why they dropped in the polls. Coastal Carolina was the number one team in the country until they lost the last week on the season on the blocked field goal. They've been growing the program. Eastern Washington has probably the best player in all of FCS football, so they're a team to watch out for. And then everybody's kind of sleeping on New Hampshire, but they're hosting. And I challenge somebody to go up to New Hampshire and beat New Hampshire in New Hampshire to keep them out of the championship. That's going to be a very, very tough task. So there are interesting storylines throughout.
The CA did very well, even though Wayne Mary did not make it from this part of the country. Final few random thoughts right here, Jay. College football games, as far as time compared to NFL games, it seems like NFL games are a lot more buttoned up. I do like how on first down the clock keeps rolling, the halftime is shorter. It seems like an NFL game is right around the fringe of 3 hours. You and I have worked games that have gone almost 4 hours before in college football, and that does not cater to kids or fans, especially in the cold at night. What are your thoughts about just the time, let's say compared to a college basketball game? Of course, less time is 2 hours, 10 minutes. A college football game can go anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours.
It can, but, and there's so many things that change. You get first down, you stop the clock for a little bit. And I think that's an element that you have to keep. So, yeah, believe it or not, they've gotten better. I mean, we remember the 4.5-hour games, but, they've gotten better. Now they've got some things like wireless headsets, wireless communication. So that's helped out. They're trying to do certain things to speed up the game. They recognize it. But, in the end of the day, you're starting to see the NFL go to more, call the play at the line of scrimmage. And you can have that, where in college you still have to get that play from the sideline. So, and I think it's still a teaching curve, and the players aren't advanced, and they don't get to spend as much time in the classroom or the auditorium as the pros. So there's still going to be a learning curve there, but it's still a great sport. This is the time of year that we like it, and some good things are happening. I'm excited. Definitely.
I want to close the interview, talk about something politically. Of course, people knew him, controversial figure, former mayor of D.C. What's been the impact up in Washington with Marion Barry's passing?
Really in mourning and shock. One of the things, although he might have been ridiculed outside of the D.C. metropolitan area, people that know him realize, and I'll tell you, my father-in-law was a surgeon, and he said one of the top 5 smartest people I've ever met in my lifetime. Wow. I mean, you don't realize he was a biologist. So this is a guy who was a straight-A student, was a biologist before he went into politics, and he really, really helped spur what you call the African-American or the black middle class in this region. So there are a lot of people that they say those are Barry guys, and they started companies, grew their companies, and now they're passing it on to the next generation. So he created a lot of middle-class wealth in Washington, D.C. So outside of the ridicule, which everybody knows about, summer jobs programs will probably be his legacy in creating the black middle class in D.C., I think.
Definitely. And what you're back in politics for January and February as a House of Delegate. What's the big issue you're going to be tackling?
A little bit of everything. We've got, it's an interesting time. We have a Republican governor coming in for the first time in a while since Bob Ehrlich, and, we're still a heavily Democratic state. I believe we have to examine some of these taxes. The people have made it clear they're tired of being taxed, and I am too, so I think it's time to cut some taxes, roll back a couple of those. And my big issue I'm continuing to fight for in my own county is I I have to get turf fields. I want to see turf fields in all the high schools in Prince George's County. There's no reason why we're playing on substandard fields, hard to maintain fields. So I've been pushing this for 2 years, and we're starting to make some headway, and hopefully this year we can get across the goal line.
All right, final question. What's the perfect side for you tomorrow for Thanksgiving? The perfect side.
Potato salad.
There you go. All right.
Potato salad with some greens. You know, it's not Thanksgiving unless I got potato salad to go with some greens and ham. So I like the turkey, and I'm frying it, but give me some potato salad to go along with it.
Jay, it's a pleasure. You always have a smile on your face. You always bring a lot of joy to people that you work with in TV and also as an elected official. Safe travels to Montana, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thanks so much for having me on the show, and look forward to doing it again.
Always a pleasure. All right, my friend. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Jay Walker right there. Ken, interesting, he's on ESPN. He also is an elected official, kind of a combination of what this radio station's all about.
Well, you know, Ronald Reagan was in movies and radio before he got to be president, so it works out.
What's the perfect side for you, Ken? Mine, of course, is always stuffing.
I like them all. I like stuffing. I like collards. I like the gravy, the mashed potatoes. There's peas, the whole 9 yards. It's just traditional, and it all kind of works in all together.
All right, CBS News coming up. Don't forget El Gran Maya at 15400 Warwick Boulevard, 887-0005. Enjoy and taste the flavor today.
2 crashes now, 464 southbound, one at Poindexter, the other one just before Military Highway, both blocking the left lane. That crash over in the Peninsula, Victory Boulevard, left 2 lanes blocked, 64 westbound. CBS is next, 12:31.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan. The Obama administration's proposing tighter curbs on ground-level ozone, smog-forming pollution, meaning less smoke from power plants and automotive exhaust pipes. EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy.
We estimate that meeting a level of 70 parts per billion would prevent an estimated 330 missed school days, 320,000 asthma attacks, and 750 premature deaths per year.
Environmentalists like the plan.
This is one of the most important public health actions that President Obama can take in his second term.
Bill Becker is Executive Director of the National Association of Clean Air Agencies.
The benefits will outweigh the costs by several times, 3 or 4 times to 1.
But industry groups say the cost to them will be higher than what the administration figures. The EPA hopes to finalize the rules by next October. CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan.
The place people look to for their holiday light needs is Inter-Ray Outdoor Lights. Let the professionals at Inter-Ray decorate the exterior of your home and business without you lifting a hand. Get $100 off a $1,000 purchase. Call 355-5276 and log on to interray.com. Light up your home or business this holiday season with Inter-Ray. Call 355-5276 today.
Excellent Italian food is found at Spaghetti Eddie's, a neighborhood restaurant with a great family atmosphere and delicious Italian cuisine. Define Spaghetti Eddie's. New York-style pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, soups, salads will bring you back again and again. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Greenbrier and Western Branch. Quality Italian food is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
It's now time for Greg's Highlights on Sports Scene, presented by GJBTV.com Marketplace Sponsors page.
And remember, of course, GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors of GJBTV.com. Also, Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Black Friday, 24/7, all 5 Marketplace pages. There's 10 per page. Marketplace 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Tell your friends. Browse, shop, visit on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Save the date each Wednesday for Sports Scene from 12 to 1 on the radio, right here on 1650 AM. Also, TuneIn.com, type in WHKT, Business Spotlight Scene, What Teased Me Off is coming up, Sports Highlights, the TV show on NNPSTV.com. Also, GJBTV.com for great audio, video, and great programming, background information about my radio and TV career. Great guests coming up. Hope you enjoyed Jay Walker from from ESPN. The NFL season's heating up. Of course, we just heard about RG3 being benched. Of course, college top four, as we mentioned, always controversial who the top four is, but it's still a work in progress, as we well know, with Alabama, Oregon, Florida State, and Mississippi State as the top four. NBA, Cleveland is still a work in progress, and the Chicago Bulls, boy, Derrick Rose just simply cannot get over injuries for sure. Ken Johnson, do we have Shiva Patel on from Tidewater Seafood?
All set to go.
All right. He was on last week, one of the great people in Hampton Roads, Shiva Patel from Tidewater Seafood. How are you on this Thanksgiving Eve, my friend?
I am great, Greg. How about yourself, sir?
Very good, very good. Happy fall to you and your mom and all your great family there. And talk about Tidewater Seafood. Really, it's caught on very nicely right there on Tidewater Drive in Norfolk.
Yes, sir. Like you said, we're on Tidewater Drive right across from the Walmart Supercenter. We opened up, about 6 weeks ago, and business has been great. We've been received well by the people here in Norfolk, and, that's a very gratifying thing from our end. And, we have a seafood market over here, fresh fish, fresh, crabs, all kinds of selection. We offer custom cuts for anybody. You come in, you tell us what kind of fish you'd like, exactly how you want it cut. If you can dream it up, we can make it happen. We steam shrimp, steam crabs to order, season it to order, and just try to really offer something that you don't get at your everyday grocery stores as far as seafood goes.
Yeah, big selection, of course. What's in stock right now in the beautiful display showcase?
Well, right now we're actually still into our Thanksgiving specials. We have smoked salmon slabs. We have specialty seafood cheese balls, 5 different kinds, a shrimp, a Cajun blue crab, a sweet creamy red crab, a smoked oyster, and a smoked salmon cheese ball. We have oysters in the pints and in the shell, both on sale for Thanksgiving. We have stuffing mix to go with oysters, so you can make oyster stuffing, the perfect thing to make your Thanksgiving meal complete. We've got, fish out the wazoo. We've got some beautiful bluefish, fresh speckled trout that is local. We have Chesapeake Bay caught striped bass. We have flounder. We have, spot. We've got all kinds of good stuff. Then we have shrimp, scallops. We got the big scallops, the U10s.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful saute scallops you can just throw out there. We're also doing holiday platters right now. We have bacon-wrapped scallops, cocktail shrimp, cocktail claw fingers, and also miniature crab cakes.
Very good. And, of course, the phone number, and you're also on Facebook.
Yes, sir. The phone number here is 233-0101. And we also do have a Facebook page that we just put, our weekly specials on and try and let people know what we're doing and what's going on around here, so that it kind of offers that off-the-beaten track of, you don't have to hear from us all the time, but if you feel like you want to check what we're into and what we have in stock, we do post that up on our Facebook page.
Yeah, talking to Shiva Patel from Tidewater Seafood right off of Tidewater Drive. What a great location. You're really centrally located to both the peninsula and the south side, both, Shiva.
Absolutely. We're right off of 64, about 2 blocks headed on Tidewater Drive north, probably 2 blocks off of the exit. Again, right across the street from the Walmart. We're right next to the Southern Shopping Center, right before you get to Little Creek. We're smack dab in the middle of all of it, and it's a beautiful location. We get all kinds of foot traffic, all kinds of traffic coming in off the street, and it really is a wonderful thing, and it's been working out really well.
You can't miss the sign, Tidewater Seafood, of course, and talk about the new hours coming up here, Shiva.
Well, recently we decided to make the change to closing Monday and Tuesday. That will be in effect this coming week. And the following week we will start opening on Sundays. Now, that will be effective until, probably springtime. And we are going to just basically run Wednesday through Sunday. However, the week leading into Christmas, we will be open Monday and Tuesday. Simply because Christmas falls on Thursday, and, Monday and Tuesday there's a lot of stuff going on, and people don't want to wait till Wednesday to get what they need. So we will be here. But, yeah, we are closing Monday, Tuesday, and, again, opening on Sunday.
Absolutely. Talking to Shiva Patel. This is Greg Bicouvaris right here on Sports Scene at 1240 live on the radio and News Talk 1650. TuneIn.com right here. Type in WHKT on your phone or your computer. Of course, everybody likes seafood. Of course, and the good thing is Shiva and the staff there at John Herman, they can steam it for you. They got a great staff, so whatever you got to do, they do it.
Yes, sir, we do, and we try to, tailor to the customer's order and the customer's needs.
Very good, my friend. Have a good Thanksgiving. Say hello to your beautiful mom and your family, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, Greg. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shiva. Shiva Patel right there from Tidewater Seafood. Of course, right here, this is Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us right here live on the radio. We are going to take a short break right here and come back for more of Sports Scene. And, of course, what teased me off and a lot more. You're home for CBS News. Of course, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT on radio, 1650 a.m. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens, dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
Discover what the locals already know. The place for the finest donuts and ice cream in Virginia Beach is Crazy Good Donuts and Ice Cream. Strawberry, chocolate, and lemon are just some of the icings you can choose from for your donut. Milkshakes, cones, sundaes, you get the picture. Yum! Buy 12 dozen donuts, get the 13th dozen free as part of the Baker's Dozen Club. Get a breakfast sandwich, the best donuts, the finest ice cream in half the roads, and leave with a smile on your face. Coffee and tea is best with a tasty bacon maple donut. Now through January 4th, buy a $25 gift card and receive a half dozen donuts coupon for free. Valid January 5th through March 31st. Crazy Good Donuts and Ice Cream is open starting at 6 a.m. all day at 2201 Upton Drive in Virginia Beach and Red Mill Walk. Like Crazy Good Donuts and Ice Cream on Facebook, and for more, log on to crazygooddonuts.com.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
And your conversation headquarters right here. Let's talk about it right here. Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. 1650 a.m. on the radio. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone and your computer. This segment, before we get to Caravan Dresner, brought to you by Bravo Pizzeria, 13144 Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, 234-4684. Pizza, gyros, salads, subs, burgers. Go by and see Eunice and the great staff up in the Denby section, Bravo Pizzeria. We want to welcome this young lady, Dr. Caravan Dresner, of course. She's with BishopsGateDesign.com at 3259 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Great place to shop for the holidays, furnishings, antiques, jewelry, firearms, artwork, eras, and, of course, areas found. Let's welcome her to the phone and the radio. Kara, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you? Happy almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Eve. I just love it.
Yeah.
There's always an Eve. There's always an Eve now. July 4th Eve, Christmas Eve, Labor Day Eve. Before I ask you about your store, what do you have on the menu for tomorrow?
For
your Thanksgiving
store or for my actual Thanksgiving?
Yes, Thanksgiving.
I do the real deal Greek Thanksgiving. So we have all the stuffing and a lamb and the rosemary potatoes, and we just opened a little part of the store called the Lunch Ladies, and we serve lunches on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So we've been serving the same kind of Greek stuff at our restaurant, too.
Right, very nice. My mom was born in Greece, so I'm very familiar with that. All right, well, let's talk about your store that you and your mother run right there in the heart of Virginia Beach, 3259 Virginia Beach Boulevard. We had you in the studio a few months ago. Talk to us about Bishopsgate.
It's an amazing store. We've got tons of gifts and antiques. We've got 3 major furniture lines. We always offer fresh tea and coffee and baked goods that I make every morning. Mm-hmm. So it's really like a great store to stop in and shop. If you don't know what you're going to buy somebody for Christmas, if you have the person that's impossible to shop for, you can come to us, and I promise I will find you the perfect gift.
You hear that, folks, right there. If you're driving on Virginia Beach Boulevard or you're in the South Side right now, Bishopsgate Design and Decor. Their website is bishopsgatedesign.com. That's Bishops with an S. Their phone number at the office is 962-0204. There's really something for everyone right there, Kara.
Yes, there is.
Elaborate on that.
Well, we have, just like you said, we have things from all times and all areas. So we try to have not only modern pieces of furniture, but antiques. We have men's items. We have an FFL, so we can do gun transfers. We sell guns. We have amazing, amazing estate jewelry that's a very good buy because some of the gems are no longer cut the way they used to be, and because they're antiques, they end up being a little less expensive. So if you have somebody who really likes large gems, we've got them, and we've got them at great prices.
Very good, very good. And talk about your hours there.
We are closed Mondays and Tuesdays. We're open the rest of the week. And if you'd like lunch delivered or takeout, we do lunch Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
God, you guys do it all over there. Of course, you're closed tomorrow for Thanksgiving. But, right?
We will be.
Right.
Yes, yeah, we will be.
But are you going to be open on Black Friday?
We sure are. We're going to open early. We're going to open at 8, and our sale is 20% off anything you can find black in.
Mm-hmm. And you can also see there a link on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. That's HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. You'll see the beautiful Bishopsgate design and decor logo, eras and areas found. Of course, their phone number 962-0204, and they're located at 3259 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Kara, happy Thanksgiving to you and your wonderful family.
Same. Thank you so much, and happy Thanksgiving to all the radio listeners.
Very good. Go by and see Kara at 3259 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Have a good day.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye. All right. Right there, Ken. Of course, shopping season. And you talk about Black Friday, Ken. Where did they get that name? How come it wasn't like Blue, Green, or Orange Friday? You ever wonder about that?
Yeah, it comes from that is the day that everyone in retail hopes will make enough sales to turn their books from being in the red into the black.
But you look at it now a lot of these stores, like these outlet malls in Williamsburg, are starting up on Thursday. It's almost like, do we live in a neurotic, psychotic world that we have to do a day before? We just can't be happy with Black Friday starting at 6 a.m. on Friday. Traditionally, we got to start it now Thursday, interrupt people's family time on Thanksgiving. I mean, really?
If you're of a certain age like I am, you may recall that before the day after Thanksgiving, you never heard or saw anything about Christmas. No mention,
right?
No word, nothing in the stores, no decorations, no trees, no nothing. It was all the day after Thanksgiving. Nobody jumped the gun. Now you see the holiday decorations going up even before the Halloween decorations and things go up in the stores. It's gotten a little ridiculous, and that's all part of that. They all just trying to jump the gun, I guess, trying to get ahead of it. And part of it, I think, is publicity. People talk about them. Hey, did you hear so-and-so just started their Christmas stuff already? Well, it's all part of the deal.
All right, let's don't forget Einstein Brothers Bagels. They got delicious bagels right there. Brand new, 1148 Volvo Parkway in Chesapeake. Go by and see Rupal Patel. Of course, hours, they are open 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. During the week. Saturday and Sunday, 7 to 4. Thanksgiving, they'll be open 7 to 3. Great bagels, sandwiches, spreads, drinks, desserts, right there at Einstein Brothers Bagels. Go by and see RuPaul and the great staff over there. Their phone number is 410-3646, 1148 Volvo Parkway in Chesapeake. Einstein Brothers Bagels, yum, yum, yum. Start your Thanksgiving morning with some bagels and some sandwiches. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Sports Scene after these messages on 1650 a.m. on the radio.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at ipanmano.
The place people look for their holiday light needs are NRA Holiday Lights. Let the professionals at NRA decorate the exterior of your home and business without you lifting a hand. Get $100 off a $1,000 purchase. Call 355-5276 and log on to NRA.com. Light up your home or business this holiday season with NRA. Call 355-5276 today.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
But first, let me take a selfie.
All right, Thanksgiving Eve in Hampton Roads on this kind of overcast, cloudy, rainy day, snow in some areas, 16:50 a.m. This is Sports Scene. Also look at it in the Daily Press TV radio log every Wednesday, 12 to 1. Listen online, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. We'll be doing a testimonial for Balkan Cuisine Restaurant in just a few moments. As well, we want to welcome a regular, Allison Wildridge from Aaron Girls of Williamsburg and Axwell Tours. How are you on this Thanksgiving Eve? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Kind of. How's the weather up in Williamsburg right now? Kind of
rainy, and I've been on the road. I'm pulling over to park right now. I've been delivering flowers for Schnitt's Flowers and Accessories here in Williamsburg, and we've had a very busy week with flower delivery and food orders and all sorts of really good stuff.
Well, that's what we love about radio. We can talk to you and not inconvenience you at all, and that's kind of like what Aaron Girls is all about. It's like deliveries with convenient times for everybody. Everybody's busy, and you guys really take care of that.
Well, we're trying, and I know the busy season ahead with the holidays, people are going to need some help. So we wrap gifts, we do personal shopping, we'll take things to the post office. We can do a lot of things to help people kind of ease the burden at a busy time. We'll talk about your phone number and how people can get a hold of you and your website. The best way to get a hold of us is through the website at www.aarongirlsofwilliamsburg, spelled WMSBG.com, or through our email address at the same thing, aarongirlsofwilliamsburg@gmail.com. And the phone number is 757-968-0311. Which area that you primarily focus on? I'm sorry. The area you cover. The area you cover. Oh, the area that we cover Williamsburg. We go as far as Richmond and as far down as Newport News right now. We've also gone over to Gloucester and Hayes on occasion. So it really depends on what the order is and what they want done. The minimum charge is a $15 per hour minimum, and then gas mileage will be added to certain types of delivery depending on the situation. Let Allison, we try to be individual in our pricing so that we can meet people's needs. Yeah, let Allison take care of it for you. And phone number again, Allison? 757-968-0311. All right, Axwell Tours, what's up with that right there in Williamsburg? It's that kind of festive time of the year. You got the illumination coming up, too. It's pretty soon, yeah. I had a tour last night. It was really lovely. I thought we were going to get a lot of rain, and it was beautiful. We had a nice walk. We got a few images captured on film. And with the holidays coming, we do still continue throughout the year on selective Fridays and Saturday nights. It's very easy to determine if you want to go on a ghost and history walk. Just go on our website at www.axwildtours.com. You can reserve and buy tickets right there online with no problem at all. Right, and you can see both of her links on gjbtv.com on the homepage as well. She does it all, the ghost tours as well as Aaron Girls too. And give us a thought for the hours upcoming for December for the Axwell Tours. Oh, the tours start at 7 p.m. and they are on Friday and Saturday evenings. Like I said, they're not every week now because it's getting colder and people are not necessarily as interested. But if they want to go out, just call me and we'll work it out. 757-565-0311 is the number for Axwell Tours. And like I said, we go out at 7. It's a 90-minute walking tour. We stay on the streets of Williamsburg in the colonial area, and it's amazing the kinds of things we see and hear down there. But it's not that scary, is it? No, it's not so much scary. I think it's more interesting. I've got a lot of reviews on TripAdvisor, and on the website, people have written in and said what they thought. It's been very positive, and I'm encouraged. They say it's interesting and one of the better tours that they've ever had, which is encouraging to a tour guide, of course. So I hope people will come out and check it out.
All right. Well, all the best to you and your family for Thanksgiving, and we look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday.
That sounds terrific. I wish everybody the best this holiday season, and especially tomorrow for Thanksgiving. All the best.
Drive safely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Allison Wildridge right there. Ken, of course, Aaron Girls in Williamsburg, Axwell Tours. Those ghost tours are always a lot of fun in Williamsburg, especially this time of the year.
Oh, yeah, and anytime you get to have a little fun and incidentally, maybe even learn a little history. It's always a good thing. Having fun and learning stuff, that's good.
Don't forget, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. I want to tell you about our good friends, Amir, and the good people at Balkan Cuisine Restaurant. It's fresh, it's good, it's homemade Balkan food. 13678 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Find them on Facebook as well. Phone number 874-0100. They've got a great, wonderful menu of excellent, excellent Balkan cuisine. You won't find it anywhere else but right there in Newport News, right there in the Denby section at 13678 Warwick Boulevard. They've got salads, they've got appetizers, grilled entrees, they got the grilled veal and beef, grilled chicken, grilled salmon, shish kebab. They've got the Balkan mixed plate. Listen to this: grilled chicken, shish kebab, grilled veal, beef, also grilled veal liver. Really, really, really good. It's the best, the only one around. They got the hamburger, they got the sarvachi, which is ground beef sausages. You hear that, Ahmed? I'm even pronouncing it right, my friend. Ground beef sausages served on traditional homemade bread with kaimak and diced onions. They've got cook entrees, they got desserts, they got sides, they got kids' meals. You don't want to miss it. You want to try it, folks. Balkan Cuisine Restaurant, right there in the Denby section on Warwick Boulevard, Route 60. Go by and see them. They're open today, of course, closed for Thanksgiving, but they'll be open back up on Friday. Fresh, good, homemade Balkan food, Balkan Cuisine Restaurant. Stay tuned for What Tees Me Off.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
Ken, it seems like this list grows no matter what week it is. I never run out of stuff. Sometimes it's rehash, but that's pretty much how all relationships are. They're always rehash involved, right?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, what relationship isn't rehashed? All right, sorry. Neighbors that leaves go from their yard to yours, especially this time of the year, Ken. It seems like, they put their leaves on a certain section, but there's always leaf issues this time of the year.
When we had more trees in our yard, they're mostly gone now, I would always go into the other yard and rake it. And always ask first, you mind? And they didn't mind at all, of course, to do the work for them. It's our tree, it's our leaves. I'll go get them for you.
Sometimes the people that get free food vouchers at restaurants can and still complain that alcohol and tax is not free. Really? They get the free steak, but they're complaining about the adult beverage.
Maybe if they worked in a restaurant for 5 minutes, they might understand it a little better.
People who don't confront a situation, Ken, when it's relevant, yet instead wait. This is funny. Instead, wait a few days and bring it up when you least expect it. Does that sound true for all men in this country?
Or even months or even years, Suddenly you're getting yelled at or something or confronted with something that's like, what on earth? I don't even remember that. Or if it's constantly brought up over and over and over.
And it seems like it happens during the holidays more than any other time.
Yeah, it can.
People who answer the phone overwhelmed, like, hello? I mean, this caller ID now for the most part. I can see if it was a telemarketer calling you, but how about, how are you?
Yeah, or just, hello, hi.
We never hear these words when somebody else is talking about their problems. How are you? It's like, how about this? Rehashing in general and just not letting things go.
And there are some people you don't want to ask, how are you? Because they will tell you in excruciating detail.
Yes, exactly. And, of course, like that song says, shake it off, Ken. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Want to thank all of our wonderful guests today. We had a really great guest lineup. Jay Walker from ESPN. Also an elected official, Shiva Patel from Tidewater Seafood. Of course, we had some really good guests today and some great sponsors. Dr. Kara von Dresner, as well as Allison Wildridge, too. I want to thank all of our great sponsors today, right here. Of course, Bravo, Soprano, Einstein's, Balkan Cuisine, El Gran Maya, all the great people, all the great guests. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Happy Thanksgiving. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you next Wednesday on Sports Scene.
Quick update on traffic before we get into Remnant Radio. We still have some crashes in a variety of locations, but some of the ones that are really causing some problems with that one. Into Purdue's Victory Boulevard, 64 westbound, lanes are closed there. Power outage earlier had the traffic signals of Battlefield Boulevard and Kempsville roads out, which is always fun. I understand the power's been restored. Those signals should be back into operation before too much longer. One crash still, 464 southbound before Military Highway. Berkeley Bridge opening coming up just about any time now. It's scheduled for 1 o'clock. Heavy traffic heading for the Hampton Roads. Bridge Tunnel roads are slicked. Windy, rain, heavy at times, 52 today. AM 1650, WHKT in Portsmouth. It is 1 p.m.